Niall, and good afternoon everybody. So my name's Emma, I'm Learning Development Support Officer working with the GA, and I'm from a small club in County Monaghan called Carduff, a small rural club. So it's great to see great numbers here today, and I think all the speakers we've had today has been excellent in terms of trying to really make the player the centre and helping coaching. So my topic was on the learning space and how to bring more resources that users, coaches can help. Now we do have IT problems, but I think there's someone on their way to help. But we can send out these slides after anyway. So we're probably just going to keep kind of focusing on the player and coach pathway. And Micheál Martin mentioned at the start in terms of making the player centred. The player pathway is centred around 6 core themes. So club is core, connection, inclusivity, quality coaching experiences, and also as many as possible for as long as possible. And just following on from Keith's talk there, in terms of the players, they transition from, they might enter the player pathway at the younger level, maybe at nursery level, F1, and then they progress the whole way through. And even Keith's stories there, how they nearly come back in. They might stop playing, they might get involved in refereeing and other roles within a club, or volunteers as well. So again, that's crucial as we go along. So my outcomes for today is to give an overview of the coach and player pathways, the learning space, the sports science framework that's available. So a lot of our work is based on research. So Dr. Peter Horgan's here today, and has anybody ever heard of the Coach Baseline Report that was published in 2021? Hands up. So maybe some of you were the participants and the people that got the information back. So there was a study done on 10,500 coaches, active coaches from across all the Gaelic Games codes, ladies football, camogie, LGFA, and a lot of the feedback came back was that how do coaches want to learn? So they want to learn maybe more bite-sized information. A lot of the research came back about them being time poor. So again, use our busy people, and can we make learning a bit more bite-sized, modular, and what are the top reasons why coaches begin to coach? So it could be having players involved, having children involved, and wanting to give back to the club. We also had research, another piece of research that is actually talking not just the coach's voice, but actually the younger youth participation study. So there was a study done on 5,000 young people from across all Gaelic Games codes, and again, really good research that came out of it in terms of what motivates them, why they want to get involved. And I think as coaches in the room, you play a crucial role in keeping all our children playing our games and giving them a love of sport and all the benefits that sport can bring. There was a study also in terms of average coaching environment. They wanted to feel that the coach included them, and probably just building on Keith's talk there in terms of the 3 A's, they want to be appreciated and again acknowledged for all their hard work. So again, you as coaches play a crucial role in that also. I would show you a picture of the learning space. You can probably visualise it. So a galaxy, a coach in the middle, and all these different learning opportunities surrounding that coach. So as we know, in order to be a coach, you need to have ICG, so a foundation course, you need to have a safeguarding course, and you need to be Garda vetted. So again, they're key things, but we also know that there's informal and other learning opportunities, be it mentoring, coaches chats, even here today, you probably learn from each other, maybe meeting coaches from different rules also. That's, yeah, okay. Super, no problem. So guys, thanks a million. We've got back to action again. I'll forward on these slides after just to give you a bit more context. So again, we're looking on building our learning space based on research from both the coach's voice and the player's voice. And again, let's utilise the research, and we constantly want feedback from coaches like yourselves to see how we can improve and get more things up and running, be it projects, be it different informal learning opportunities. So this is the picture I wanted to show you, so it's probably easier to imagine it than my explanations of it. So the coach is at the centre, we're always improving, developing and learning, and it's crucial that we can provide these opportunities. So that's our role in terms of serving the volunteer coach on the ground, and can we bring some of these to life. So again, I mentioned some specialist modules that are upcoming, and I'll go through the slides just to kind of give you more different opportunities that are there. So on the left-hand side, there was a publication of the Sports Science Framework. It's a 2030 vision. So even our speakers this morning, a lot of them said about that long-term approach. It's not about what you do now. It's something that can make impact and benefit for the future. So the top left-hand picture, there's Phil Kearney in terms of skill act, Des Ryan at leg development, Eamon O'Reilly in terms of rehab and physiotherapy, Niall Moyna in terms of leg development, Sharon Madigan, nutrition, Denise Martin in PA, and Aoife Lane, who directed and coordinated this working group, and Kate Kirby from a psychology point of view. So these all had working groups underneath, and a lot of projects and kind of artefacts are coming out of that. So there's community practice events happening where coaches like yourselves get together and discuss topics like lag development. This was one that happened in DCU just before Christmas. A lot of them are coming back with guides, so guides for good practice in terms of how to implement maybe PA across the terms, and we also have a skill acquisition guide. So these are resources that hopefully help you as coaches maybe kind of translate some of the data across the way. More IT issues. This is a Gaelic Games Lag Development Action Statement also. Again, really experts in the field and trying to bring it back down to the coach's voice. These are some graphics just I grabbed from it. So again, trying to maybe break down the lag development into endurance, force, and again, some key graphics that can hopefully help coaches understand the lag development area and bring it into your training. A lot of this we talk about the multi-interdisciplinary team, so bringing all the sports science to life from coaches like you on the ground. There's also a Gaelic Games Lag Development F3 Youth Level 1 course, and this time there's online modules, so there's 9 online modules, roughly takes between 15 and 30 minutes per module. It's more bite-sized, so just as we said, the learning space, we wanted to bring it to action. These are bite-sized little chunks of information that coaches like yourselves can dip in and out of, or they can complete it in a whole, and then at the end there's an opportunity to attend a face-to-face workshop also. Again, some key interests and modules that will hopefully help you as coaches. These are just some videos in terms of just screenshots of different resistance training movements. Liam mentioned earlier in terms of like rehab and importance of landing mechanics. So again, these are resources that hopefully will help you as coaches maybe implement some of the resistance trainings and hopefully prevent injury. This is Ian Jeffries actually just doing a green screen of it. The face-to-face modules are something similar, and again 35 coach developers were trained up on the 31st of October up in St. Bridget's. Des Ryan ran that upskilling, and the whole aim is that these coach developers are now going to go out. We've had 4 pilots to date. Cork done one, Wexford, Meath, and there's one more happening in Galway. We're tweaking it, and then we're hopefully going to finalise within in the next month or so. It'll be out to all counties that are interested in upskilling. And again, it's targeting at F3 youth stage of the pathway. So hopefully that might be a resource that some of your coaches might either do it online and do it in bite-sized chunks, or they can attend the face-to-face and go through practical components to bring out lag development into the coaching system. This is PA, so there's a guide for good practice. There's an annual event that happens in Carlow in November. There's an intro to PA course that is over 8 hours in duration over 2 nights, again all online, and again trying to maybe get some of the sports science messages down to coaches and down to our players. There's also an accreditation system there that I can send on further information in terms of level 1, 2, 3 and 4. So again, there is some outputs in terms of sports science and trying to bring it to action. This is Will Harmon from Friars in Kerry. He's head of coach development in the LGFA. He's leading out on a club community practice. Is there any clubs here in the audience that are participating in that at the minute? So 12 clubs completed a pilot last year, and we're on to the second iteration. We've won. Sorry, you're the first pilot?
Yeah, it was when he was doing his research.
Excellent. Brilliant. So again, this is something that hopefully coaches and clubs can dip in and out of, that will hopefully help them develop as we go along, and creating that community practice where we discuss coaching issues and try to help and retain both our coaches in the club. This is an online Go Games module, so in terms of F2 stage of the pathway. Has any of you ever completed it? If you're a coach, who's coaching Go Games? A few. Okay, so again, this is an online kind of workshop, just kind of goes through the philosophy and the key aims of Go Games, and maybe might help coaches, and you can even send it to the parents to maybe get them to have an understanding of the module. It probably takes about 20 to 25 minutes. So again, it's more bite-sized learning that hopefully a coach can dip in and out of and develop their knowledge. These are just 6 screen grabs of a new nursery programme. Again, research based on Peter's research said that coaches were very time poor. So we have an ICG that's going really well. So that's our introduction to coaching Gaelic Games. It's our first step on the coaching ladder. It's 9 hours in duration, and then you have to do 3 hours, obviously safeguarding as a requirement. Again, if you think of a nursery, maybe a parent that comes down to bring their child to their first experience of Gaelic Games, it's a big time commitment. So we're looking at this now as a 90-minute face-to-face workshop held in a club, and that will guarantee that the coach that meets their minimum requirements. We've just got that pass from GDC, and Safeguarding are on board too. So it's a 90-minute face-to-face workshop delivered by CDs. Paddy actually Malone is going to put up his hand up for another pilot. So we've done 2 pilots already, and we've got our 3rd pilot, and hopefully this might help introduce new coaches, new helpers, because I know a gentleman over here mentioned about having 80 children and maybe only 2 helpers or 2 coaches. So again, can we open up and make it a little bit more easier for our coaches to get into the system? But just to be clarified that this nursery workshop will only clarify you to be a qualified coach at the nursery level. When you go to Go Games, you'll have to maybe be encouraged to do an ICG as a requirement. So that's hopefully something positive that'll help. And there's also resources also. These were videos that were done in the Beacon. We recorded 85 nursery games activities, working on fundamental movement skills and the introduction of football, hurling, camogie. And again, we have some descriptors and kind of outlining of how the games work. So that might help. They're finalising at the minute with voiceovers over them. So they'll be a resource that'll be added to Tubber and underneath the activity planner. And they'll hopefully be ready by the end of the month. We'll hopefully have the drafts back and they'll be hopefully put up on the system, and hopefully a resource that you can learn and hopefully direct if you're working with that age group. This is just a screen grab of I Coach Kids. Has anybody in the audience have completed these or have seen them? Okay, a lot of nodding faces. So again, this is another resource that might help. So there are micro-learning, working on different topics, be it philosophy, and I know some of the phrases came mentioned earlier on about culture, creating a philosophy, a coaching plan. So some of these topics might be relevant. There's research in terms of international basis. And again, some really kind of key nuggets that you can get or signpost your coaches to that'll hopefully help along the way. These are just screen grabs of in-game coaching. Has anybody ever heard of them? No. Okay, so these came about by coaches having issues implementing tactics. There was actually a pilot done with Thomas Broderick in MTU, and there was 10 or 12 coaches out. It's on the right-hand side. And again, we had some prominent even inter-county hurlers, Tommy Walsh on the left-hand side here, attended as a participant. So it does show coaches want to learn, and these are 3 hours in duration, bite-sized information. These were the topics, so it came across from puck-outs, from implementing kick-out strategies, maybe systems of play, planning phase of play, restart to score. So again, these were bite-sized 3-hour modules, face-to-face, where coaches really got down to the nitty-gritty and discussed tactics. This was the team that put them together, inter-county referees, coaches, coach developers, and again, we've got some good feedback, and I had a video there, but I can show it to you after. We mentioned about getting coaches together. This is just a screen grab of the coaching conference, and there's a page on Tubber that has all the slides and the resources, and the videos are back with us, so we'll hopefully have them up by the end of next week. And again, it's a resource that you can dip in and out of, and hopefully it'll help your learning. And again, we had some really keynote speakers from across the country and across the world. So again, it's another information we can do. The new rules are very topical at the moment. We had a design team that put together a 90-minute face-to-face workshop. We've had 4 provincial upskilling days with numerous coach developers. We were in Mallow with 55 coach developers Monday 2 weeks ago. And again, these are going to help coaches maybe understand the rules. There's loads of FAQs, examples, and different animations that hopefully help maybe coaches understand the rules a little bit better. These are some of the resources that are on that page as well. So the interim report, there's the FRC explainer video that Jim Gavin presented with James Horan, and again then the motions and the frequently asked questions, and I think them questions are going to be maybe full seed in action today when we watch the games later on across the country. Again, a lot of these things that I've brushed through and gave an overview of are all on Tubber. So again, I would say try to get onto it. You see the green big Foreign Connect on the top. So if you press that button, that'll hopefully sync your account. So again, we want Foreign to talk to our Tubber system. So again, can our coaching qualifications mirror our Foreign? And again, we have our activity planner that I mentioned, which we will have 85 new nursery games, and our plan is to kind of keep upskilling and updating the content that's already there. So again, it's maybe in the past the LMS was only used to, you do a course, you enroll, give me your email and we'll send you out a cert. Tubber has been upgraded a lot. David Sweeney, our e-learning manager, has done Trojan work in terms of trying to make it more mobile friendly on tablets. And again, it's a resource that coaches hopefully will dip in and out of. And again, it's probably not something we just do at the beginning of the year. It's probably an ongoing system. Can we plan our sessions? Can we dip in and out? I heard Keith Ricken talk at a conference. Can I go and watch him again? There's loads of videos from previous coaching conferences too that you always take little nuggets from. So again, I would encourage all our coaches in the room to maybe use Tubber and go from there. This is then a digital brochure. So again, we're trying to help coaches navigate tubercles at the time. Sometimes you go into it. So this is an interactive PDF where all these little buttons are clicked and it's according to the specific stages of the pathway. So if you're a nursery 1, if you're coaching a nursery at the F1 level, these are kind of a menu of learning that might be specific to you. And again, we're aware some of our coaches might be coaching across all levels. They might be coaching at F1 and then on the Saturday morning they could be coaching their senior adult team. So again, it's trying to make it bite-sized and specific to them. Our motto is just in time and just for me in terms of our learning space. So as a coach, can I just dip in and out of to what suits me? And again, I mentioned I Coach Kids, Go Games policies are there and the online course, and there's some video examples of different camogie, hurling and football demonstrations. And I mentioned the sports science explainer videos also. So thanks a million for the opportunity to speak to you today, and apologies for the technical difficulties. I hope you've got something from that, and I'll send all the slides after and any questions.